and she's buying a stairway to heaven.
We want to welcome you to the World Hacker Games, live from inside the HACKERverse, where hacker teams come together to unleash code from the shadows and crash test cybersecurity vendor solutions. If you think you got what it takes, then step into the ring and give us your best shot. Welcome, play hard, and let the games begin.
How you like me now? I say, boom, here comes the boom, ready or not. Here comes the voice from the south. Boom, here comes the boom, ready or not. How you like me now?
Woohoo! Hey, Surf Dog here, aka King Pond. Welcome to the HACKERverse. We have an insane show for you. My camera's all messed up. Sorry. Before we get started, real quick, it's not too late to sign up for that PNPT exam voucher giveaway. There's the QR code. Go ahead and put your name in there, and we'll get that taken care of. One more thing during the show today, if you have comments, you want to do a live chat, we got people on SPYDERbat. SPYDERbat's sponsoring this. Hop in the Discord channel. What we want to see is your biggest problems with Kubernetes and securing it. We also want to see, if we're doing something right or wrong, or if there's some way you want us to show a Kubernetes attack that you haven't seen yet and you want to see it blocked, we can do that. Just hop in there. And if you have questions about SPYDERbat, hop in there. We also have some glossies and collateral in there you can look at as well. Awesome. Well, before we get started, the first thing that we're going to do before we unleash these red teamers, real quick, give you an idea of what they're going to be up doing. And they're going to be coming into this infrastructure here, which is running a Log4j server. Log4j attack's been around a while, but there's some interesting things about that. I think there's like 100 million of these servers out there that are running Log4j, so it's still relevant, still legit. But having said that, I'll turn it over to the red teamers. The arena is now open, so go for it.
Share my screen here. There we go. All right. First thing we do is run an Nmap scan on the target.
And so, who's this? Mr. Swiss?
Yep. Figure out what ports are open.
There we go.
Got a port 8080 is open, running Apache.
People use Nmap to do it. Or just default.
Let's visit this web page. On port 8080. So we got a little web application here.
I feel like
login.
around for years.
First thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna test and see what happens here. Looks like we got something that's logging our information. I'm gonna grab that. I'm gonna run a dirbuster to see if there's any other endpoints. IP. Okay, well that's running. Let's go back. See if we can look at the source code, see if there's anything in the source code. So nothing relevant. Okay. I'm gonna start up Burp Suites.
So what are we attacking here? Is this an actual web server? What are you
Yes, yeah, this is a web application. So right now I'm just running my enumeration. I've seen that port 8080 is open. I ran dirbuster to see if there's any other endpoints, which there is not other than the login. We can see that it's logging information when we run a just test credentials through it. Since it's running Java and it is logging our information, I think the first attack I'm going to try is the log4j exploit.
What's that Wappalizer?
Wappalizer, so that just tells you what tech is running on the application.
Oh, really? So you can run that against any website and it'll tell you?
Yeah, so if I go to, I can run it on any website, maybe Facebook.
Oh.
It'll show,
Oh, we could attack
usually
Facebook.
shows, it'll show the tech that's running on the website.
Okay.
So there was nothing, no other endpoints. Started up Burp Suite. I'm just going to capture this request here. See what we can do with it.
So there isn't an external way to tell that it's vulnerable to log4j, is there?
Other than just running the proof of concept.
Right.
So just attacking it, yep.
Interesting.
Intercept is on. I am just going to see what...
Isn't Log4j, isn't that specific to a specific web server type?
Yeah, so what did you say, Craig? Sorry.
Isn't that specific to Apache?
Yes, Java, yep. Yeah, so it's the Log4j attack is basically it's a Java library that is going to log records. So that's
it's actually used in more than just Apache. I think one of the first things that was attacked with it was actually Minecraft.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
It's just a pretty generic Java line. So generic, everybody used it, which is why it was so prolific. But what's kind of special about it is its ability to have different output appenders, which is kind of where it all went bad.
I'm going to run this proof of concept against this web application.
It also opened up the avenue for all of the other loggers to be tested, and it wasn't just Log4j. After the Log4j exploit, it was Log4Bash, and then there was Log4PHP, and then people, instead of getting web shells with PHP, were just pulling the straight shells out. It was a whole bunch of research that happened in a very short period of time with this vulnerability. It's really cool.
Yeah, it is amazing, and it's still out there. The funny thing about Java applications is their dependency trees run so deep that even if you think you got rid of it, you probably didn't. You probably have some out-of-date version buried 3 layers deep in your dependencies on your dependencies.
Another printer nightmare, printer spool incident where they fixed the patch and then they didn't patch it.
The original exploit came out at the end of 2021, correct?
Yeah.
So a year and a half later, it's still hanging around.
Yeah, well, they had to fix, there's 3 patches for it.
3 patches.
they fixed it, and they were like, "Oh no, we didn't fix it." Okay, this time for sure. No, we didn't.
LDAP server is up and running. I am going to try this through Burp Suite. I haven't tried this yet, but
You also run into the area where you have third-party services that are still running the out-of-date software, and the third-party library has not been updated or patched because it was put out and they just forgot about it, and you're using that third-party. Third-party attacks are where adversaries really get their cream. That and social engineering.
All right, you're gonna have to pause now, switch keys, and explain what you just did, because that's the JMDI LDAP string that's gonna mess with people's heads a little bit. And that's the secret sauce.
Yeah. So what happens here is we start an LDAP server on our host machine, and we start a web server on our host machine. So the proof of concept exploit I just ran transfers from the LDAP server to the web application vulnerable Java code. Once that code is ran on the web server, it calls back to my web port and then to my netcat listener, which gave me that reverse shell on the web server.
Yeah, it's a pretty freaking amazing proof of concept, because it generates an exploit class, and then the log4j's attempt to resolve that string reaches out to the LDAP, referred to the web server, returns the exploit, and then runs the exploit, which seems mad.
Yeah,
but it works.
It's a cool attack.
Yeah.
I'm just going to run a command here. This is just upgrading the shell.
I'm glad you're explaining it, Mr. Jagieri. How do you even pronounce your last name?
Oh, it's Jaguar.
Jaguar. Oh, it's French.
Yeah, make it sound as French as possible, because obviously you listen to my accent, it's super French.
Hit the round button.
Oh no, we lost our screen.
Yeah, 1 second here. I hit the wrong.
Nobody wants to look at us.
No, I know.
Yeah, you guys are ugly. Please clear their screen.
There we go.
We're back.
All right, I'm just gonna see. I'm gonna see what kind of commands I can run, because I am on the web shell. Can I run an nmap? Let's see. It's a Linux machine, so I should be able to run nmap, which I can't. I think I'm gonna run linpeas here. See if maybe in a container. Let linpeas run and see if we can determine if we're in a container or not.
How long is linpeas gonna take?
It shouldn't take more than 30 seconds.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, super
linpeas
quick.
is super it's awesome and complicated. Is that Carlos Polyp wrote that?
I don't.
Privilege
sure.
escalation awesome script is what P stands for.
Yeah.
And it's
Linux.
amazing. Like,
they have one for
you
Windows.
can't spit out a lot of stuff. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's cool just to run on things.
By the way, Dustin Gray in the chat there. There's some wicked tattoos. Saw you on screen for 2 seconds. Very cool.
Here, I'll bring him back up and find him.
I'm gonna run this again because I ran it with a grep. I didn't mean to do that.
I was supposed to dye my beard pink for DEF CON, but I haven't. I don't know if it's gonna happen. Let's see.
Always next year. Do pink with like a little racing stripe.
I think if anybody is watching can name every artist in the music, then I'll buy it pink with a racing stripe.
Okay.
There we go. A couple attempts. So notice I'm already root, but just want to enumerate without having to sit there and surf through every directory. Just a lot faster.
Jingleheimer Smith. That sounds like something that kid would say. That's not.
Can I post a comment?
Yes, this is the main chat for the.
There we go. I just posted the link to the Limpies into the chat, so you're keen on what he's doing.
Awesome.
Do we need to share the screen?
I'm seeing it.
If anyone is curious with the kernel command, I can post that in chat too. You can just curl it right into a
Well, we should probably put that in the summary when we post the video.
Yeah, we can do that.
Like all the commands that you used, and disclaimer: we're not liable for what you do. If there is shit, you're on your own.
Yeah, King, where can I find all this information after?
Good point. HACKERverse.tv. Here. I mean, it's streaming live to LinkedIn and YouTube and stuff like that.
So we are in a Docker container.
I mean, you're not streaming it to your C9K?
Oh, we should have. We could have mirrored it.
We totally could do that.
Idiots. Next time.
Happening right now.
Next episode. Here, I'll just...
Yep, somebody said we can still do it. Foster's on it. Sorry, Hard Bowls is on it.
Yeah, Mr. Watch up MLB player.
I think if you're watching that, the immense amount of output that script produces, don't worry. If it looks too intense.
TV, this is where it's going to show up. Okay, sorry. Mr. T. Waltz.
All right. Let's go into... we were just en route. Let me check that again. Is there anything interesting in here? Nope. Let's go into, since it's on the app, let's go into app. Look at that, there's credentials in here. Let's see if I can SSH into the internal machine hosting the web server, which is going to be the same as the target. So I am going to create a new host. It's IP.
This is good. This is for you. It's Viking music. If you live in the land of the Vikings.
Look at that. Well, there was credentials on the web server that allowed me to SSH into the internal machine that's running the web server.
Okay.
So
you're on the web server.
Yes, I'm on the internal machine that's hosting the web server.
Bravo.
So I am going to run linpeas one more time. See if there's anything else in here. I think the next thing I'm going to run after this is I'm going to run an nmap scan and see if there's any other machines within the network. See if I can pivot to.
Container running is privilege. Tisk tisk. At Skull Rider.
Oh my god.
I can't wait to see SPYDERbat look at all of these commands in a bit, because that is it's a lot of time too that he's been in there.
I'm guessing SPYDERbat. There's got to be a cartoon drawing of SPYDERbat, right?
Spider-Man bat? Spider-Batman?
We've got our avatars.
It's got to be programmed right now to have mercy on you, I'm sure, because it should have destroyed your container ages ago.
Spider-Bat is...
And here I thought you were cheering for Red Team, Skull Rider.
Well, you know, right now I'm cheering for Red Team because now I think we're still here.
Oh, nobody's inside the chat. Okay, so Discord chat. On the screen in the upper right corner, there's a SPYDERbat chat Discord. It's the white QR code. Hop in the HACKERverse, man. Chat with us. Someone.
I'm gonna close this command. Not finding anything with that that's interesting. So let's
Add scripture sitting in there, all that stuff.
there's a hidden directory. I think I was already en route, but let's just double check.
Question: what is the World Hacker Games? You're in it, my friend. This is it.
Let's try to go into this.
Then we have our illustrious Mariana Padilla.
Oh, there's more credentials. Interesting. And there's an IP.
Probably gonna make it. Yeah, well, I think we've been at it for a little bit. Probably our training is gonna be.
Okay. And we got more credentials. What should I do? I think I gotta run an Nmap scan and see if there's any other machines in this internal network.
And we've come full circle. Nmap to Nmap.
Nmap to Nmap, yep.
It's the tool. You don't. If you're watching this and you're not familiar with Nmap options, you at least got to get familiar with the SCSV. So that gives you service detection. It runs default scripts to find open ports and gather other information, discover vulnerabilities. It's like that's that one. Just know that one.
Yeah, it's the main one I use pretty much for everything.
Yeah.
First round KOs. No, only Skull Rider because he's a lightweight. One beer will do it.
What?
You guys, if you don't have your HACKERmask yet, you can hop into HACKERverse and grab one. K-Town Hacker's showing his off right there. I was just doing yesterday. The only second, the only other one. The other one I saw was Ogre. Ogre was showing off his. There it is.
Nice.
All right, well, how much time we got going on? This thing is. There we go.
Yeah, it's a good command. It's not fast.
No, it's not. It's definitely not fast. I probably could have got away with not even just running the subnet because I'm assuming these credentials are going to pivot to a different machine. But
oh, by the way, we have the time to phone timer going.
Oh, I didn't realize this being timed. Come on, Swiss cheese.
Oh, yeah, pretty competition, man.
No, I'm just kidding. All right.
I was gonna say no pressure. Jeez, great coach.
Grabbing all these different IP addresses here.
I think that timer got started late too, so I think we're doing okay.
Well, hoping nobody would notice.
We've been here for half an hour. You're on 6 minutes.
Somebody was late.
We got on to. Where's my
Yes.
hacker box?
Oh, hacker masks are the coolest shit.
All right, let's try this IP.
Somebody's asking you how many credentials you're trying to get.
Many as I can find. More credentials, the better, right?
Okay.
The passwords "I hate you" is that you coming after us?
Pivot for that name.
Poor Swiss is stealing the show. Mariana's got your back.
Uh-oh.
Stupid meeting.
Try that again here. Let's
Oh
see
my goodness.
what's host.
When in doubt, run it again.
Yep, that's what I'm gonna do.
We're going to stupid meeting. Not because I kick her. What? Yeah, we're the
What?
let's scan this IP. Don't want that.
That's not it.
Mm, 22's open.
Ooh, Scott Kennedy with a good point.
Who knew about more silent recon?
This is blunt recon.
Let's see.
Blue team's gonna find him either way.
Oh yeah.
Check out the art. Thanks for checking in there, Mr.
Let's
Kennedy.
try this. Try to SSH from this machine.
All right, Steve, I was wondering, since you're the Log4 shell expert, can you recap all these steps off the top of your head?
Oh my God.
Here's your test. Go. First nmap.
No. Well,
There you go.
first nmap, found the site, brought the site up, logged in to see, used the whatever it was, worked out it was probably Java and Apache, and then lost the proof of concept that generates an LDAP server and a web server and creates an exploit and generates a attack string, which he entered into the name. The reason he entered into the name is because he saw that the name would be logged if he entered a crap name. And because it got logged, he knew he would invoke the log4j, which would then try to resolve his funny squiggly brackets, because that's what Java does. And then it did reach out to his LDAP, was rerouted to his web server, sent in the exploit, bang, he had a reverse shell. From the reverse shell, now he's just doing, well, I'd say not less than basic reconnaissance.
Yep.
Trying to see how deep he can get, how much lateral movement
Trying
he
to
can achieve.
pivot around the network.
Yeah.
Looks like I got into the it's called the root machine, and looks like there is a bash script here to run. Looks like it's got the SPYDERbat logo too. I'm assuming that is the end of this machine.
It's
I
cute.
feel like, I mean, you're
This
busted.
network.
Is that what we call an Easter egg?
Easter egg, yep.
Good job, Swiss.
1 point. And time? Is time stop now?
I think time stopped.
It's been toned.
That's awesome.
Stop the timer.
Yeah, Swiss cheese coming through for red team. That's pretty cool. A lot of steps. But managed to fruit your way in there. And
A lot of steps
less than 12
executed
minutes.
very quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to summarize those and put those up in the post it. I have a feeling it's longer than 11 minutes.
Now, if you're used to log4shell exploit, is it faster just to continuously go to web pages and look for this sort of setup? Like once it works once, you can kind of keep going to the site to look for that specific exploit?
Yeah, so when I've researched it, it's basically just test it. If it's a Java application logging information, there's a bunch of scripts that you can test it. I mean, you can kind of tell that if it's logging information, like I seen when I ran the test, when I logged in, you can see that the password you entered was incorrect and it's logging that information. Running Java, it's a quick exploit to run. So I just ran the exploit and was able to get a shell really quickly.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, been a year and a half, and it's still sticky in applications. It's worse than Skull Rider's gonorrhea. All right. I think blue team's up.
All right, so let's see if we could actually see him doing that type of stuff. Everybody see my screen?
Not yet.
Not yet.
So let's be clear. SPYDERbat was a defense mechanism that existed while he was doing this attack.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's connected to the machine. The dashboard actually picks up all of the see the unusual Java activity. It picks up all the things that he ran, and it tells everybody what's going on, right? So I already have an investigation set up right here, but you would go from your dashboard to the investigation, and let's just see first if we can see what he did here. So
wow, this is cool. So while he was doing this attack, like unsuspectingly thinking, "Oh, I'm getting away with this. I'm stealth. Nobody can really see what I'm doing." And but lo and behold, we've got visibility into everything that Mr. Swiss is doing.
oh yeah, even the root machine over here. See, so we even have the root machine on our readout here, and we have the web server on our readout. We have the Java application, and if you look at the details on the Java application, it actually lets you know part of the way through here that the Java is running SH and it has access that it shouldn't have.
Wait, stop. Do that thing with the arrow again. What is that doing?
So I'm going from one node to the next node through time. So I can take these nodes one at a time. So if I find a flag, right? So I find a red flag in my dashboard under the security settings, right? Okay. I go and I start an investigation, right? So then I start with where I'm starting the investigation and where the flag is. And as I click through the nodes, it shows me the next action underneath that node. So I'm able to track all of the actions that are occurring from that service.
And what you're looking at, that P node is a process. The C nodes are connections. So we can see the processes that are running underneath Java. And there's a causal relationship. So that connection, that 880 connection came into Java, it caused that shell to get created. And then we can see who am I ran inside of that shell. So you have just a very quick understanding of what's happening without having to get into logs and try to piece together, from logs what may or may not have happened.
Now, does every process get flagged, or only specific ones that are anomalous, that are not the baseline, something that's unusual?
Yeah.
How does it differentiate?
SPYDERbat has some built-in analytics that will map certain activities to the MITRE matrix and generate flags based on that.
Okay.
There's also ways to add in your own custom logic too.
Oh, very cool.
So what I'm doing here is
you're just kind of enumerating through the commands that this attacker did, right?
Yep. I'm looking at each one to see what they accessed and how it works. You can see already how the map is starting to unfold. This is LinPs. When he ran LinPs, it's running all these commands, trying to figure out if it can do stuff, right?
It's gonna be long.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
No, it gets there. So now he's SSH'd. See, now there's an SSHD, and there's things running through that process. So wait, let me go back. Let me go back to this node right here. You see how that line is running? It tells me exactly what his IP address is and when he SSH'd into the box. I can see
that was actually the same IP that made the HTTP request.
So I have his IP address, no
don't
problem.
hack me.
Now we just need to look them up. And then that's somebody
counterattack.
doorstep.
And then we have the nmap, we have the if config.
They can go bye-bye?
Pretty much.
And now I believe we're going to be able to see him go from one box. Yep, right there. So now we can see that he went from one box straight to another box. See, he went from this machine straight to the root machine. So it picks up the relations between, like, if somebody is inside your infrastructure, it picks up the relation of if they're pivoting through your network, which I think is really, really cool.
Mm-hmm. Another thing I want to point out is the time is underneath all the commands. So you should know if it's a human or a bot, correct? Based on how fast these are getting executed.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Yeah, if you're running a script, those things are going to be firing off like within milliseconds. But obviously a human user can't do that. And then this is where he ran the root sh, so we can see all the commands.
a really cool thing, another really cool thing about this product is if you don't know what the command is, if you don't know what it does, I can click right here and it'll tell me what the command does. So I don't have there's no guesswork, right? If I don't know why it's flagging this, I can go, well, why is that flagged? Well, here's the help for Bash, and it shows me exactly what Bash does and what the -I option does. It's an interactive shell. Why is Java running an interactive shell? Then you go back to your investigation and you confirm that that is a flag that needs to be looked at. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, another benefit here is that, you know, you're not just looking at one singular flag. You're looking at this causal trace. Puts everything into context.
Yeah, you know, one of the things we've seen is that, you know, attacks can't happen just in one fell swoop. There's always a bunch of interactivity, right? And we're capturing everything that's going to the kernel from user space, kernel space, and back. So we flag those unusual activities in real attacks, like as you see here. You start to see these constellations of flags, and that's how we know this is a real attack versus just, you know, some false positive, something, you know, weird things happen all the time, and you need to spend a lot of your effort looking at just something that's weird that isn't security relevant. So this gives you a real fast indication of something that's concerning, real, and you see the full picture of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like it. I really enjoy how it has all of the commands under Java. Like you were saying, it collects all of them for you. Because if you were looking at another product, it would have all these things, but you would have to do this investigation yourself to make sure that it was all coming from this Java endpoint. And this just does it for you. It maps it out completely and says, hey, this is what's going on because of this and because of this. And it doesn't skimp on letting you know what processes have been run under what tree.
Question for the blue teamers. How did you know that something was happening? Like you just walked in for the day, or you're just getting in, you're just pulling up the interface. What was the first thing that tipped you off that, oh, I need to investigate something?
So yeah, while he was attacking, we saw on our dashboard that we had a high score and trace pop up, and if you disable the grouping there, up at the top left. Oh, sorry, no, we're in the top left dashboard card.
Other left.
Grouping enabled. You're right there.
Left.
The recent spider traces with a score above 50. There's a little tab down there that says grouping enabled.
Is there?
It's on the right side of the card.
You were almost there. Just down about an inch.
Yeah, so
there it is.
Score,
how many people does it take to get Nemo to find a button?
So yeah, you'll get like high scoring traces, and if you have tuned your environment, those high scoring traces are going to be really
okay. So I'm a noob with the tool. We just installed it. I come in, I go, oh, this doesn't look right. Maybe I should investigate this and then get somebody else to help.
So
we have an attack underway.
Exactly. That score, you see that score column. So that's looking at the number of flags inside of that whole trace of activities. So the number of flags, the severity of the flags, and other factors. You know what the breadth of activity, etc. So that's how we can kind of surface what's something really concerning versus just a one-off.
Okay, and that's what that anything greater than 50 was for.
Yeah, exactly. So instead of alerting you to every single individual flag, which would be annoying because a lot of it would be false positives, this is how we can kind of separate what's real.
Oh, nice.
So what if it's like 3 a.m. and I'm not looking at my dashboard and I'm on pager duty? Other notification systems are available.
Yeah, exactly.
Is there a way to have it?
You see that little bell there on the left, right? Yeah, so you can tie this to a notification policy. So
awesome.
This could be going right into pager duty, or maybe it's going into your SIM, or whatever you use as your dashboard.
Got it. Cool.
Would you typically tie an alert to a specific score, or would you recommend somebody starting out to filter out all of, let's say, the normal behavior to a lower score and then try to highlight everything else and then iterate from there? Because, tying a notification to a score can be tricky, right? Something's like just underneath, but it is a risk.
Yeah, I mean, generally we see traces that are going, 50 to 100 is kind of like something weird's happening, and then above 100 there's something definitely concerning in the environment. So but it will vary a bit by each environment, so you'll kind of learn through your own environment, and that's why we don't give you like a red, yellow, green. Like, we just give you the number the algorithm spits out, so you kind of help determine for your own environment what makes sense.
And you can tweak that number, I'm assuming.
You can tweak the number in that if we're starting to generate flags on things that are in your environment are always innocuous, you can just say, hey, ignore this flag in my environment.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. So like if you're consistently seeing traces that exhibit the same activity, you can filter or clear those out and add suppression logic in there, and so that in that same trace, all that activity is normal. Score drops down to 0, and then as new activity happens that's not within that suppression policy, then the score jumps back up.
Okay, very cool. And if somebody were to turn off or suppress something, is that auditable?
Like, can you see that someone changed the suppression policy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
That's
I guess
awesome.
there are good questions in the comments. Combination of King Pwn and another Jiggleheimer Smith, which was, does SPYDERbat have an API? And then some question, does it have a CLI, thus leveraging the API?
Oh, those are good questions.
There is a CLI. I'd say the investigate piece is far more fleshed out in the GUI, just to build out that tree and whatnot. But the command line tool is great for retrieving the data and looking at the objects that we use to build the tree. Cool. It's also got some other features like adding in the suppression policies and stuff.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, that was one pretty dashboard. Just make sure you don't get this tool in the hands of my ex-girlfriend. I'll be fucked.
Okay.
Well, actually, I've asked the team as a red teamer, would I be able to access a system and drop SPYDERbat into that system to see if I could pivot. And if you have root access to that system, then you definitely could drop it in the system and use it to pivot, and like see what their infrastructure's like, and if they have any other environments that you can go to. But if you don't have the root user access, then you're not gonna get nothing. So I think that's really cool on their part of like protecting people from their software being used as a weapon. Super cool.
Yeah. Cool. All right, we're done with the first round.
Woo!
Thumbs up.
Oh, Jesus.
Jiggleheimer likes
Got
it.
it. What's the score? 1-1?
Sure.
You did a good job. Oh wait,
we
can
are-
I ask a question about SPYDERbat? One more thing, because while you were in the container and you were pivoting, I mean, you were already out of the container. Was there a way for SPYDERbat to have characterized the anomalous behavior early enough to like say, well, screw this container, bing?
Oh yeah. So actually, that's one of the features available currently in the command line tool, and it's making its way to the UI. But you can build a policy for your web application, your containerized application. Or if it's a Linux service, you can do that too, and that'll kind of whitelist that activity. So you've got, if it's a web server, right, you're going to be whitelisting HTTP traffic. You're going to be whitelisting the server itself, so that Java process. But once you apply that policy and you say this is the only thing that should happen, as soon as that log4j exploit kicks off, you could have a response action that goes in and says, hey, let's kill this pod, let's kill this process.
Yeah, you're never whitelisting Nmap.
No, yeah.
Cool. All right. So what we're gonna do is take a break because red team, blue team need to go and do some finger exercises and exercise their toe muscles. So stand by.
Yeah, don't get carried away.
Yeah, here it is.
The most undisputed fact in cybersecurity is that the human is the weakest link. It only takes 1 out of 10,000 phishing emails, and an attacker is inside your network. The one thing that titans of industry are most afraid of? How fast a cybersecurity breach can take down their business. The Kicker platform proves that once an attacker is inside the network, it is only a matter of minutes or hours before adversaries have your sensitive data. The industry-wide push to containers and microservices has only made this problem worse, because there's no visibility into the microservices black box. The inner workings of a cloud-native microservices architecture has enough pods, containers, ephemeral processes, network, and port translation to make your head spin. This gap in visibility creates a fertile playground for attackers to penetrate and move about. An attacker can breach your application and is then just a simple container escape away from full throttle access to your inner cloud. A few hops and traversals, and they have your data. We've created a groundbreaking tool to solve these and the next big wave of cybersecurity problems. By pulling in the world's best hackers, red teamers, blue teamers, and pairing them with cybersecurity vendors, we prove in real time how to solve the next generation of cybersecurity problems. Who are we? We are Kicker, and we've invented the hands-on, buyer-led marketplace for the enterprise software industry. Our marquee platform is called the HACKERverse, the world's first MMA ring for software vendors, where software vendors go up against the world's best hackers. The first vendor to be called to the ring is SPYDERbat, the king of cloud-native runtime security. By deploying their eBPF nano agents into a microservices cluster, SPYDERbat claims they provide visual context into connections and commands in containerized and Kubernetes environments. They also claim they prevent overloaded alert noise from happening at the same time. What is more interesting is that SPYDERbat says their platform goes beyond alerts and correlation by actually pinpointing root cause and root chain event flows in graphical form in real time. SPYDERbat has chosen to defend their cloud-native protection supremacy by going toe-to-toe with Kicker's elite team of cyber sovereigns, the underworld's holy avengers, the white knights of the hacking underworld. Join us live as these two teams of offenders and defenders battle it out to pwn and dominate the hacker battlefield. In our marquee event, the World Hacker Games.
Okay, guys, we're back. So just when you thought it was fun, this next lab, this next round is going to be epic cool. What we've got built is this environment. It's running Kubernetes, and I don't want to tell you too much, but what these guys are going to attempt to do is break into this cluster, do some nefarious stuff. So if you thought that Kubernetes and microservices was secure, you're wrong. It's vulnerable in many ways. We're going to show you how that can happen. And if we're lucky, we might get to see a little bit of SPYDERbat on the back end. Having said that, I'm going to remove this. And we're back. The arena is back open. Who's our red teamer?
Nemo.
Hey, Nemo. What's up, dude?
What's up, guys?
Yeah.
So I was given an IP address for this. That's pretty much all I have is an IP address. So we're going to go from there.
How about if we share your screen too?
Well, I mean, if you want to share my screen, we could probably, show the other people what we're doing.
Be helpful.
Commentary's enough.
Commentary's enough. All right. Whenever I run Nmap, I always love to just do one SV. Maybe it's capital. Let's check the help file.
I was going to say
a lot of help.
Nmap has been around forever.
No.
Is there?
Don't do a dash H.
I love Nmap. I love Nmap so much. It's a capital V. So we'll go Nmap, tap S, capital V, and then that's not the IP address.
Hold on. Where did the shell come from?
Oh, this is my
Is your local?
This is my local. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah. We don't have this shell yet.
I didn't know. All right, cool.
So what this command does is it uses Nmap to scan all of the services.
Sorry.
See services and versions.
I want to make sure
And,
I did start the timer this time.
let's see what we can pull
one
out
drop
here.
phone.
An Nmap, whenever you run it, normally it just does the common 1000.
Can you do an Nmap of inside of a Kubernetes cluster?
If there's Nmap on the machine.
Mm-hmm. It depends on where you are. If you're in a container or on the node itself, right? Because there are some restrictive policies in Kubernetes to stop you from running those things.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the big epiphanies I had when I was learning about Kubernetes. Is there's an entire networking environment inside of Kubernetes.
It's like the Matrix.
Few ports open. I want to go ahead and see if I can find any more, and I'm gonna hit it with a HACKERverse so I can see what ports it's finding while it's finding them. HACKERverse is super verbose. So what it does is while you're running Nmap, it shows you the information that Nmap is finding. I find it easier as a severely ADHD person to know exactly what my tool is doing, just because I want to know. But we have an HTTP 1233 here, and it says it's a Golang net HTTP server. So
you discovered a pod or a cluster that has port 1233 exposed?
Well, I discovered an HTTP web server. Yeah, I don't know what exactly it is yet.
Okay, but all you had was an IP address.
Right. So I can take this port 1233 and see what exactly it is. Because it's an HTTP server, we'll just copy that right there. Let's go here. Port 1233. HTTP.
If you're going to curl it.
Yeah, you could curl it.
I could curl it, but it looks like this is a monitoring console for this system. So
that was exposed to the internet. That's
exposed to the internet, dude. Yeah. So where are we now? What do we got going on? Let's see what our home file looks like. I always like to check that out. There's nothing there. So there's no home directory, which makes me think that we're inside of a container instantly.
Yeah. So that's a Go server with a terminal, so that's going to be Go TTY, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So in here, what do we have in the share? Couple of things. Okay.
I know what I do. I'm not gonna say anything.
And you see in the background, we still got the Nmap running. I want to see what other ports might be open on this.
No, it's interesting. I mean, do you have an idea of how you would enumerate on this?
Yeah. There's a couple of things that you can do. I'm not going to run LinPiece, but I will check out and see what kind of abilities this bash has. So, oh, whoa.
Good call.
Crap. Where is it? I was researching it before. Oh, okay. Yep, cap SH. Okay.
Cap SH print. Find out where your capabilities are.
Exactly. So we'll throw this out there, and wow. Okay, it looks like we can do a lot here. Let's go ahead and see if we can mount our host system and see if that works. Cool. Now we have a host system now inside of our inside of where we're looking. See that, the host system? So what we could do with that is we can go into the host system and look around, but we don't have any real permissions inside of the host system. So what I'm going to do is do a root and then access the mount inside of its own bash shell. And now I am inside of the server, rooting around and trying to figure out what's going on.
Serverception.
Serverception, yeah. An inception into the servers, right? So let's see if we go to root. Actually, let's go back. Let's go back. Let's go to the temp folder. Let's see if there's anything interesting in there. Oh, that's interesting. What else do we have in here? There's an opt. Where I can see that SPYDERbat is actually connected. And there's some AWS and Containerd, so there might be some AWS credentials going on. Let's see if there's an actual user in here.
If you see SPYDERbat and you continue hacking, that's kind of like your parents catching the cookie jar and you just keep eating the cookies in front of them, right?
There's nothing inside of the user file. But who are we? Let's check. We are root.
I'm just a server playing a server disguised as another server.
So let's look inside of the root area. Is there nothing in there? Aha! They're all hidden folders. Hidden. Let's see. What is this? Is that a directory? It is not a directory. It says very clearly this is not a directory. Let's cat it out then. Let's see what this reminder is. Huh. Well,
that's weird.
That is weird. Somebody wanted to remind themselves of their key. Let's see if it works.
It was safely hidden with a dot file, though.
It was safely hidden.
Security through obscurity, right?
Oh, yeah, no, that never works with me, sir. I've had companies try. Let's go ahead and label this. And we want to give it our web address where we are. Now, none of these addresses in this server section is actually this root address. These are all internal services. So I have to break out of them to get into this box here. And let's see.
What's that you're showing right there? Is it like a map of the
Hey. Hey now.
Am I muted?
Let's set a key.
Like nobody's just anymore. We need to shut that guy up.
That's not what we're doing. Where is my key? There's my key.
We changed the key on you midstream, sorry.
Oh, you changed the key on me. I'll find it again, don't worry. Let's see if I can connect to this actual box. Oh, there we go. Now where am I? Now where am I? LSLA.
That lap.
What we got going on here? CD / what's in here? Oh yeah, this is an actual system. Where is the users? Okay, we were just in that. Who am I? I'm Callie. So let's go into root. Permission denied. That's okay. That's okay. You know what? Wait, with Kubernetes, you don't need to do that. With Kubernetes, as long as I'm in the user that's hosting the Kubernetes, I should be able to just go in here. Yeah.
The kube config should be there. Yeah,
I was going to say kubectl right there. Config.
What are we doing here? Oh, there it is, dude. So there's all the information that they use to create all the clusters. It's a done deal. That box is owned, my friend. Oh, you know what I'm going to do here?
Do we need to stop the timer?
No, not yet. Not
Okay.
yet. Nope. Because I'm just going to go ahead and delete all the pods and shut down all their services. Ta-da! Now they got no services.
Did you shut down SPYDERbat?
No, I just shut
That
down all
would've
the
been a good
Kubernetes clusters. There we go. So I not only own the box, but I shut down all of the services they were running.
It also makes sense if you had time to set a new cluster admin, right? Change the cluster admin to yours, then delete all the pods, remove all the other service accounts.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Drop an SSH key on there too, so you can come back and do it again.
Ooh.
You feeling spicy?
Spicy. You're feeling spicy.
All right, are we going to call it?
Yeah,
He did it.
I did it.
Let's give him credit. Swiss
Pretty
cheese has got
consistent
up
with
his
the
game.
timing. Yeah.
Ooh, just under 13 minutes. Awesome job there, Mr. Nemo. As expected, your skills have come in handy. Blue team, what the hell?
that's the call to action.
Yeah,
Call the action. All right.
The hell.
a lot of blue team. Come in, blue team. Oh, there they are.
All right, so let's jump into this investigation. So the cool things with SPYDERbat is you can jump into a Kubernetes view of the network.
Wait a minute. So we previously did a non-Kubernetes environment, or was it a Kubernetes environment?
No, it wasn't.
Oh, so this works across. Like if I had regular infrastructure, just regular on-demand instances, VMs.
Not all containers are Kubernetes.
Okay.
Yeah. Linux VMs, containers, Kubernetes, everything and above.
Oh, cool. All right. Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
All right, so let's just look at this Kubernetes view.
Yikes.
Yes, and right away you can see the red flag but we can see all the different pods.
Yeah, what SPYDERbat doing is just mapping out who's talking to what's coming up when it comes up. We just have this map of your Kubernetes environment. So again, kind of nice visual of what's actually happening. And then similar to what you saw previously, we're flagging events on those in the containers as they're coming up and coming down. But we know that container lives in this pod, lives in this namespace, etc.
What if a container disappears or a pod disappears because there aren't, in Kubernetes, aren't some of these processes ephemeral?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so if you drag that time slider on the top, you'll see just over time, as pods are coming up, coming down, it's just part of the regular Kubernetes, right? Auto scaling up and down, developers pushing new things into dev namespaces. So there's going to be a lot of change in this environment, but we'll know the exact state of that container, even if the short period of time it lived.
That's bomb. I love that.
And those connections to the bottom, is that connections to shared storage?
East-west traffic, north-south traffic, whatever's coming in and out of the containers or in the worker nodes.
Gotcha. Yeah, because it's listed very nice. Cluster, namespace, service, pod, container, from sort of the biggest object to the smallest. So you can see how they're all interacting with each other. Very neat.
And there's 3 different views actually. So he's in the currently in the service view. There's a workload view, cluster view, just different representations of the Kubernetes object and how different stakeholders might be interested in viewing it.
Very cool.
That's very nice.
Yep, and then we can you can see there's red flags here. We can jump right into that by right-clicking. We can investigate the container. And actually, I have it under this one right here. So this is when you right-click to investigate the container. It'll bring you right into inside of that container to see what's going on. What I can do is I can click here. I can hide future nodes, and that was James kind of Nemo showcased that earlier, where you can click the next nodes and see how the attack was ran. So you can completely walk through the attack, and you can see
including the commands that were issued.
Yep. Another thing too that's cool with SPYDERbat is if an attacker clears their history, it's still going to keep the commands, and you're still going to be able to see them in the investigation. So there's really no way for you to hide the commands that you're running.
Very cool. And that's all through the eBPF module, correct? Doing that collection?
Yeah. So at the agent level, we're not doing scans, right? That can miss things because there's time in between the scans. Using eBPF, like as a process comes online, we're hooking into the process exec. We're getting a little bit of information about the process, send that up, and then our analytics system adds on the security, but also builds the picture for you.
Yeah, and one of the other benefits is maintenance and uptime, right? Like this works on pretty much any Linux kernel. The maintenance for any new versions or anything are relatively easy, right? You're not messing around with system modules or anything like that.
No, you're not building kernel modules or anything. It's just an update to the agent if you use a new version, or if there's an update to the OS.
Yeah, a lightweight security product. Who would have thought? That's pretty cool.
Impossible.
I know. They said it couldn't be done.
So we can finish running through this attack. You can see he runs the mount command. There's ls, bash.
Well, at what point in here is it time to pick up the phone to your boss and say, hey, you're going to want to come see this?
Yeah, you can see the number of red flags we have all in the same trace. So what's nice about SPYDERbat, right, is that there could be tons of other stuff going on in this container, but you have this nice kind of focused view to just what's connected to these, from the first flag and everything that's happened that's causally related to that first flag. So, I mean, just in that view, right, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 flags, it's pretty clearly this is an attack. Someone's enumerating you can see all the LSs there. Someone's clearly on the file system looking at things. So if you're investigating this, you'd be very quickly be able to understand that this is bad. Let's go take an action, or even just policy as code, right? Just set up an automated action to take place once it gets to a certain threshold.
Cool. Now let's say we came back and there was some forensics. Hey, we need to go to court. How do we dump this into something that we can take into court and use as evidence?
Yeah, so you asked about that API, that CLI. So we could, even in the GUI here, there's an export function on the top. So this all could export out as a YAML file. So you could preserve this as a textual file. Kind of describes exactly what this looks like.
And not just that, but you can load it back into the UI, if, at a later time if you want to.
Yep, that too.
Yeah, another cool thing is they have this copy investigation link, so maybe other team members need to view this. You can send them that copy or that link, and it'll pull that right up where your investigation is.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, should bring them right exactly to what you were looking at.
That's awesome. I like all the listed red flags there. You need to apply that to Tinder profiles. It would definitely stop me from swiping right on some things.
Oh my god.
Now, if you can only send a message back to the attacker and say, "Ha ha ha, you've been pwned." That just
Well, I think the hacker's seeing SPYDERbat and continuing anyway. This is.
Yeah, I was playing with fire.
Yeah.
Pressing his luck.
Let's see. Where's my link here?
Right, so the big question I have is, we saw him break into the container. Is there a way to kill that pod, notify? What is the best course of action for something like that? It's obviously, 13 minutes is a short time, but yeah, we'd obviously like to stop them from getting those keys.
Well, I mean, so this is better than not being able to stop them.
True.
So
Fair enough.
a lot of companies don't have visibility of this. I guess, but that's a good question. It's like, okay, what do we do now?
This is probably a wake-up call, because if you let them get that far in your Kubernetes environment, it's probably time to write some of those policies and whitelist your behavior so that deviations can automatically get shut down, and then start an internal investigation here and figure out why this service is exposed to the internet.
Well, yeah, there's a root cause right there.
Mm-hmm.
Why do I have a root shell exposed to the internet?
Exactly, because you have kind of you see how he escalated. You see the data that he was looking at to escalate. So you can see, well, did I leave credentials available that he found? All right, let's clean that up. Did I leave permissions open that he was able to get to commands that he shouldn't have been able to? Well, let's clean that up. Mm-hmm. So you have all that kind of detail to then do your post-mortem and now really not just through the automation, you can contain the attack, but now take all this information to fully remediate your environment.
Yeah, it's a classic developer fuck up, isn't it? Having something that was probably used in development or staging.
It was probably a developer.
Yeah, it always is. And then somehow it made it
up into the Kubernetes view and all of your pods disappear. That's probably another good indicator.
Yeah, for sure. And I do like the fact that not everything's automated. I think in Kubernetes, if you delete a pod and you don't actually change the manifest, it's just going to come right back up, right? So it doesn't actually fix the issue. So having that investigation capabilities and then making changes towards the left is the goal, I'm assuming.
That's right.
Yeah, and we can also see the pods being killed. So when Nemo ran that when he killed all the pods, you can see it happen.
Where is it?
Once it loads here. There,
yep,
right
there.
There. There goes all the pods.
Dead. They had to all restart.
That's pretty cool.
I would hope that would kick off more flags than SPYDERbat.
Hopefully, some application performance tools are also screaming at that point.
And debugging stuff, finding debugging leftovers in the wild is it's not as rare as people like to think. Most of the debugging is not a shell like I had there, but most of the debugging stuff that you find in applications is like internal file links or URL pieces that are commented in code, or old endpoints that might work, that might not work, but they left it in the code for like API connectivity. Those are things that you're really going to be looking for in web apps and things like that when you're attacking them. And I've found those a lot in the wild. I mean, people think that, it doesn't happen. It does a lot. It happens.
Yeah, in the previous hack, the idea of credentials file, like, that seems ridiculous. It's not.
No, not at all. Not at all. And also with Log4j, you want to attack things that are logging. So your best entry point is your user agent, because it's going to log your user agent.
Hell yeah. Nice.
Cool. Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to watch one more ad sponsored by, if you haven't noticed by now, this whole thing is sponsored by SPYDERbat. We'll watch a quick ad, and we're going to come back for a little quick short summary and then call it a day. So stand by. There we go. We're done. Hey, let's, if you don't mind, Purple Dudes, can you just sum up real quick what happened today?
Purple Dudes.
Yeah, Steve on the red team. I think we call this one a tie, right? 2-2. It was pretty cool watching those hacks go down. Also watching SPYDERbat's investigation and just overall dashboard. Pretty slick looking. What do you think of the red team?
I think the red team was fast and furious. I think somebody said that in the comments. Swiss Cheese did a good job of diving in and finding all the gaps and the holes in the environment. Nice to have a proof of concept for. Interesting. This is actually a good lesson, right? If there's a gap in the system, like in the Log4j, there is a known exploit out there. There's a proof of concept that hackers have in their arsenal, ready to deploy, and that's essentially what happened. And from there, it just became a case of investigating reconnaissance and lateral movement to the point where was getting a little bit ridiculous. So I think they did a pretty good job.
Yeah, pretty spot on. Yeah, I mean, Kubernetes and container misconfigurations, they're always out there. Little things like that get pushed into production and staging that you don't want. So pretty cool. SPYDERbat was able to pick up on that very fast too, sleek, because that's a lot of information to be pulling from a host to be able to do all that investigative work on. So very neat.
I'd say in the second case, you took it easy on them. I mean, I know you killed all the pods, but I mean, Hardballs and I are both CKS people, so we're like, we were talking and chat in the background going, I would have destroyed so much more. You were kind.
Yeah, very cool.
I'm not a Kubernetes pro. I'm a web app hacker, so.
Still did a great job.
Yeah, you just might have an opportunity to do that. We might have a follow-up show.
Cool.
So, having said that, thanks everyone. Thanks everyone for viewing. One last reminder here. It's not too late to join the HACKERverse. It's not too late to get in on the discussion. And we will have a follow-up episode, but we want to know what you want to see. So ping us. Tell us what you want to see, what and give us your best shot. Let's throw some wild shit at SPYDERbat and see what happens. All right. So with that, we'll call it
Game over.
And we'll exit with a little bit of music.